Today on One. November is National Aviation Month, and we meet a man who is sharing his love of flight by inviting his museum's visitors to explore the sky. Then we visit an urban farm in Winter Park that's growing not only vegetables, but a healthier community. And later, a correctional facility in Central Florida that's helping dogs find forever homes. We've got all that and more coming up on today's show. This is One. Hi, I'm Amy Lou Cicero, and welcome to One, a show about the people and places that make Central Florida special. Later on in the show, we celebrate Native American Heritage Month by taking part in traditional festivities. But first, we explore the history of flight. There's one museum in Polk City that has definitely taken off. Fantasy of Flight is a museum and attraction that is home to not only history, but many vintage aircrafts. We spoke to the museum's owner, Kermit Weeks, about his museum and love for flight. He's this month's One to Know.
You know, when I was a kid, I was always fascinated by building things and dreaming and imagining and bringing my dreams into fruition. And when I was 13 years old, I heard that song Snoopy and the Red Baron on the radio. Changed my life. I became fascinated with World War I aircraft, the Aces, read a lot about them, became fascinated with flight. I started flying control line airplane models and ended up building my first flyable airplane in high school, most of it, and it was downhill from there. Early on, I became fascinated with the history of flight and vintage airplanes, and when I was in a position to be able to restore airplanes, collect them, like to share them, which is one of the reasons why I started the museum in Miami, and one of the reasons why I moved up to Central Florida, because I needed a bigger space to show my airplanes off. So within a couple of years of opening Fantasy of Flight, I quickly realized that not everybody liked airplanes, but what I realized was everybody has a fascination for flight because of what the metaphor symbolizes. I think more than anything, flight symbolizes pushing our boundaries, reaching beyond ourselves, and freedom at some level. When we fly along from our lofty perch, at one sense, we get to look down at the world below us and see our reality from a higher perspective. But at the same time, at the level that we're at, we can look off to the horizon and realize that it curves, and metaphorically, to know what's beyond the horizon, you have to go beyond the horizon. It's that following our imagination beyond ourselves that really is what the Fantasy of Flight concept's all about. And I think that type of inspiring insight happens for a lot of people that eventually take to the sky. And if you can control an airplane, especially from a kid's perspective, you have the ability to control your life. You know, here at Fantasy of Flight, we're very proud of what we accomplished. When people come here, it's not just about learning about airplanes, but through the airplanes and using history, not to teach people about history, but to use history and the metaphor of flight to teach people about themselves. People will self-discover something about themselves for themselves. Our mission statement here at Fantasy of Flight is to light that spark within, and what that symbolizes is something manifesting into this world from potential. That's what Fantasy of Flight's all about.
Fantasy of Flight has more than 100 aircrafts for visitors to observe and explore. In this month's Central Florida hometown, we visit an urban farming experiment that is teaching the community about agriculture and healthy eating. Their mission is to take vacant residential lots in Winter Park and convert the land into productive harvest gardens. Let's take a look.
I basically started the farm with, it was not even right to call it a farm, it was a garden, it was a vegetable garden. And so my friend Tia, who runs the Organic Growers Meeting, was consulting with me, giving me kind of teaching me the ropes.
My role here at the Winter Park Urban Farm is to plan out all the crops with John and make sure everything gets in the ground, and also work with the public and teach people about gardening.
Once a month, we'd let people come and just come beside us, see what it means to turn compost or to feed the worms, or
How to plant a seed, how to transplant things, the staking, maybe the pest control.
wherever we were in the growing season, you would get to see what was happening. And so Tia did a really good job of posting it on Facebook and Meetup and all these different social groups. And at first, for the first 6 months, we'd have 2 or 3 people show up. But eventually we really had it to where it was a steady flow of, anywhere from 15 to 30 people each time we did the work and learn. And we've actually decreased the marketing of it because there's just not that much work to do, which is to say, it's not complicated. Like once you come to a couple sessions, you really could do this yourself.
If we can teach people how to grow it themselves, they get really stoked that they can plant something from a little tiny seed and have it grow into a big long carrot or a big head of broccoli.
That's what fascinated me. That's what intrigued me was, all I did was buy this $3.59 potted tomato plant from Home Depot, and 60 days later, we have tomatoes for our salad. Holy cow, that's so awesome.
And the thing that really struck me and hooked me in is just the taste of a fresh vegetable and the satisfaction of growing it yourself.
And we started running a project here called a CSA. And a CSA means Community Supported Agriculture. And how it works in the real world is that you would pay your farmer at the beginning of the season. And every week you'd get your fair share of what's being produced out of that farm. So we opened it up to our people and said it's a sweat equity CSA. There's no money, you just need to come and put the time in. So basically now everybody comes, they spend time here on the farm, they learn what's going on, and they go home, they're paid with vegetables, so to speak.
Being here in an urban area, it's even more important to have opportunities to engage people in planting, growing, just working in the earth.
When you talk to community leaders, getting good, wholesome, interesting things for the kids to do activities-wise is one thing. Getting them to eat healthy is the other, and this mashes those two together.
I work with kids and adults, and kids love it just as much as adults do. When I do garden classes, I'll pull up a carrot out of the ground and they think I did a magic trick.
Like that's how far they're removed. So when you talk about changing culture, community leaders are finding a lot of strength in teaching kids to grow their own vegetables because they're more likely to eat them.
And they also love to plant seeds, like the big seeds like bean seeds or sunflower.
There's like a 75% more chance that a child will eat something they've actually grown. I've seen it with my own kids.
I like to give people other options that, hey, you can grow this yourself at home.
That neighbors can pull up with their kids and dogs and get their hands dirty and take home some vegetables.
And just establish that connection of where do we get our food, which is one of our basic needs.
What a great thing that we're showing people a whole different food system that they don't even have access to, because the stuff we get on the store shelves have traveled thousands of miles to get to us and are not picked fresh. Where when you pick a snap pea fresh, it's like dessert. It's so sweet. We're just really happy with what's happened here, and to see the community rally behind it and be passionate about it too, and come out week after week in the hot summer sun and till up the ground and see this soil get nurtured, the community gets nurtured. So just a powerful thing, and we hope more people decide to yard share like I have. If I didn't give up my yard for this to happen, hundreds of people would not have been impacted. So if you have a yard that you're tired of tending, let us come farm it.
By volunteering on the farm, you can learn more about growing organic food in urban areas. Visit the farm on Pine Avenue in Winter Park. Coming up on One, we celebrate traditional Native American culture. But first, let's take a look at some nonprofit events and opportunities in our community. Do you know of an upcoming event in Central Florida that will benefit a charitable organization? Drop us a line at one@wucftv.org and tell us about it. The The second annual Native American Powwow was held at the Dade Battlefield in Bushnell. It was a day of traditional dancing and arts and crafts, as well as a celebration of Native American history and culture.
A powwow is a group of Native Americans. They're working together and pulled together to hold on to their history and their education, because they're losing it little by little. It's dying out, and we're just trying to hold on to it. We love having powwows. We are intertribal tribe, and that gives all different tribes, you know, like Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and no matter what tribe of Indian you are, when we say intertribal, that means all tribes can come together as one, and we can celebrate and remember our history and remember where we come from.
It's our spirituality, and plus the way we do things, the way we relate to other people. For me, it's a matter of seeing family, because this is one large extended family. We're all related in some way or means.
I've been doing powwows for over 30 years. I'm 69 years old, and the heritage means a lot to me. My regalia is made up of traditional Shawnee. Everything on it is hand-stitched. Being a Native American, to me, it's something to be very proud of.
It's hard sometimes being a Native American, but being a Native American, I am what I am. It's my being, but I'm Mescalero Apache, and that's why I come to the powwows to celebrate my warrior being.
Indians pride themselves, Native Americans, but they pride themselves on their jewelry, their wear. When they made their leather, people see the tassels. These aren't just decorations. What this does, the tassels actually cause the water, if they get wet, to leach out, just like your hair draws the water to the bottom of your hair when you dry it if you have long hair. Same thing. They discovered that, and they make all these tassels to draw the water out when you get wet. So there's all kinds of hidden knowledge in what they did. So a lot of the necklaces and artwork have to do with where they're made. If you're out west, you're going to find a lot of turquoise and silver and some gold in the products. Whereas if you're on the East Coast, you may find jewelry made more out of things like grains, corn. If you are out west, the clothes were leather because they were made from the animals, whereas on the East Coast, they started trading much sooner with the white men, so they used linens and cottons for their clothes. And I think that you'll find, when you look around, that a lot of people are very proud of that heritage.
But most Native Americans got two names, and just like mine's Howard W. Oxendine. That's my government name. And my Indian name is Red Eagle. I'm Native American, and I love being a Native American. But a lot of our children today, they going out into the world and they forgetting about our history. The older groups want to hold on to their history. I love both cultures. I love the European way, and I love the Native American way. But I love the Native American way best, because that's our history to hold on to it. And I love coming to powwows, and that gives us time to be together with each other, you know, as Native Americans.
Powwows were held all across the state and country. The next powwow in Central Florida will be held in December in Leesburg. Coming up, we find out how one organization is helping dogs after their racing days are over. But first, let's check out some upcoming events from around the area. If you have a story idea, let us know by emailing us at one@wucftv.org. Greyhounds have always been a large part of the dog racing community, but they also make great pets. Greater Orlando's chapter of Greyhound Pets of America is an organization that takes care of these speedy dogs and finds them the homes they deserve.
Our whole lives changed when we got the one Greyhound, and anybody who has a Greyhound knows they're just different dogs. There's just something about a Greyhound. You can't have just one. It's very hard to just say, oh, it's a dog. They're not dogs. They're just not dogs. When you have a Greyhound, it's a passion that just kind of rises in you, that, you know, you gotta fight for them. They're amazing pets. They're wonderful in packs. They're great in homes. And just my passion for the breed. Just what keeps us doing this, and we're volunteer, and it's what keeps us here, and it's why we stay and why we do it. We have about 55 dogs here at the facility, at our kennel, and we run about 10 or so in foster homes at any given time. All our Greyhounds are from the track here in Orlando, all retired racers, and all retired for various reasons, either be injuries or just too slow or age. The most common injuries that the dogs come in with are literally just broken legs from the track. It's just taking the turn the wrong way, and it's the most common injury. It's usually a back leg. It's called a hock, the track that casts them, but 9 times out of 10, the dog needs surgery. And usually they're perfect after that. We have a special few cases right now. We have some seizure dogs, which is actually not common, but we do have them. We have 3 males currently in our kennel, and they're being treated with pharmaceuticals, phenobarbital twice a day, but also we have an acupuncture vet that comes in, Dr. Jenny Freeman, and she does acupuncture on the dogs. The adoption process is quite simple. We have our facilities here in Longwood where we encourage people who are very serious about adoption to come look at the dogs and get a feel for them first. Then we try to hone in on a dog given their situation. If they have cats, if they have children over 5, if they have a fence, if they have an apartment, it's just finding the right dog for them. So the process is you come and you look at the dogs and you might click with somebody. We want you to bring your dog if you have a dog. We just go off personality and whoever clicks. And then when you decide you want that dog, you fill out an application and we do a complete home visit where we go to the home to educate the owner, the new owner, on what to expect when adopting their Greyhound. And then after that, of course, when the adoption is ready, they come to our office and they fill out a formal contract and then they get their dog. Why people should adopt Greyhounds is because they need us. They need us to help them. This is not an everyday breed that you find in shelters. This is not a breed that you would get from a breeder. This is not an animal that is just the run of the mill. We owe it to them. They've worked for people their whole lives, and we owe it to them to find them decent, wonderful homes where they can live out the rest of their lives.
The chapter is always accepting volunteers to help these dogs find a loving family and home. For more information, visit their website at greyhoundpetsorlando.org. These Greyhounds are not the only dogs looking for homes. Prison Pups and Pals is a program that matches inmates from the Tomoka Correctional Institution in Daytona Beach with dogs from the Halifax Humane Society. These inmates spend weeks with the dogs, training them to make them more adoptable. We took a look at the program and saw just how amazing these pups are.
Here is we take 12 shelter dogs, bring them into the prison, and the dogs actually stay in the prison with the inmates. Each dog has 2 inmates and sleeps in a crate in between the inmates, and it's 24/7 care. These dogs, they're cared for the best anywhere in the country, I think. And we teach them obedience training. Every day we have a 1-hour class, obedience train these dogs to help reduce the rate of euthanasia in Volusia County.
We came into Prison Pups and Pals at the end of 2010, and we just absolutely adored the program. It's an incredible opportunity for us to send dogs that have sometimes difficult past or perhaps some complexities which make their adoption or their adoptability a little bit lower. And we send them here to Tomoka to get the training that they need to be adoptable.
The awesomeness of this program is taking shelter dogs and bringing them in, giving them a second chance. It's also giving inmates a second chance. And now at Paws of Freedom, it's bringing love and companionship to veterans, to our heroes.
My first deployment was in Desert Storm, and second deployment was in Iraq in 2008, and came back 2009, and here I am. I think this organization, this program is like the best in the world. It helps everybody, helps the dogs, helps the prisoners, the veterans. It's like a win-win-win-win. I think it's awesome.
I see the inmates gaining a lot more responsibility. I see them, a lot of these inmates haven't had unconditional love or any love in their life, and they give it to these animals, and in return they get it back.
It gives me a chance to give something back to the community, and I've looked at it like that the whole time. And like I said, the smiles keep you going, and that's exactly how I feel. These dogs are teaching these inmates a lot. Okay, the program teaches them a lot. Marge and Alan teach them a lot, and we make sure they learn a lot.
The biggest and the most rewarding part of it all is really not any one piece of the pie. It's the whole picture. You have prisoners who are rehabilitating themselves, dogs that wouldn't have found homes otherwise. You have trainers dedicating their time, volunteering. You know, a huge community partnership has come together to create this program, and the benefits of it, like I said, are just impossible to ignore. There's so much good that comes from here.
Prison Pups and Pals also partners with the West Volusia Kennel Club. For more information on how to adopt a dog from the program, visit halifaxhumanesociety.org. That's all for this edition of One. I'm Amy Lo Cicero. Thanks for watching.